Hey everybody, happy Thursday. Welcome back to the D&D Beyond Dev Update. I'm Joe Starr. I am in charge of making videos about elves and dwarves and spell jamming here at D&D Beyond. Welcome to the show. Just as a weird heads up, I slightly updated my setup here and decided to just go ahead and jump into an actual live stream without testing like, hey, what am I going to look at? Here's my notes. Here are you. So if I'm weird today or weirder than usual, that's why. What is this show? If this is the first time that you're tuning in, D&D Beyond is the official tool set of Dungeons and Dragons. It's our goal, it's our mission, it's our job to make this game more accessible and easier to play. So, if you've always had your eye on pretending to be a high elf sorcerer at least once a month with a group of friends, but the stacks of books, the dice, the character sheets, all that stuff is a little overwhelming. This is why we're here. The Dev Update is our weekly live stream where we check in on all things that are coming up with the tool set. So, if you like to see written updates, we have a change log on our website. The mods, if you're watching live, will be frantically dropping that link into chat so you can check it out. Or if you're watching on YouTube, we'll have the link below. We also have a monthly forum AMA with one of our devs. We'll jump into that a little bit here on our roadmap. And today we've got the king of our mobile app. Dawid is coming back in to chat with us about some recent updates on the app, some things that are coming up, and he'll be taking your questions as well. So we're going to do a little Q&A with him. I mentioned he is the king of the mobile app, so let's keep your questions mobile app focused so that we don't spend 10 to 15 minutes going, we don't know. Uh, he knows the mobile app stuff, so let's ask some mobile app questions, shall we? Let's jump into our roadmap, my friends. Coming up right now, April subscriber perks are available right now because it's April. It will not be April soon, so this is your last chance to jump on those April subscriber perks, those beautiful, beautiful perks, if you want to grab them. And then May perks, because it's May, will be available next week. What are subscriber perks? So there's a lot of benefits to being a subscriber to D&D Beyond, including content sharing. If you want to replicate that old feeling of being the one person in your group that bought all the books and then had to trudge to somebody's basement to play with them, but digital and less back pain. That's probably my favorite perk of being a subscriber. These monthly perks that we do are just more of a thank you for you all being on the journey with us. Custom backgrounds, digital dice, portrait frames, stuff like that. We've also got our spring sale going on. Our spring sale is running until May the 1st. It's 20% off all books and premium dice. Super excited about this one. That spring sale includes all of our pre orders, and we've got a few of those rolling out right now. So, that spring sale includes Monsters of the Multiverse, currently available for pre-order. Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel also available for pre-order. Journeys is our new, and I need to get used to saying ours because it's ours now. We are wizards. I need to change up my tenses. It feels a little weird. It feels a little new. It kind of has like a new car smell to it. I'm still getting nervous holding hands with my Wizards of the Coast boyfriend, but it's okay. It's gonna start feeling more natural and more natural as the weeks go by. Journey to the Radiant Citadel is our new anthology adventure, similar to Candlekeep Mysteries. It is legit, and I this is where I'm like, I kind of wish I was not a Wizards of the Coast employee because all of you are going to be like, you corporate shill. But it is legitimately a beautiful book. The art is gorgeous. The setting is super cool. The adventures are fantastic. So I highly encourage you to check out Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel. If you are hesitant because you're like, well, there's already Sigil and stuff like that. Sigil exists. It's in the, I believe it's in the DMG. Um, uh, I can't encourage you to buy this enough. Even if you don't want to use the setting, use the adventures. They're really good, and I'm excited to start playing through some of them. We'll be playing through some of them here on D&D Beyond. once the book comes out. That is enough gospel for me on Journey Through the Radiant Citadel. Because also included in that pre-order list, also 20% off until May 1st, Spelljammer. Spelljammer is confirmed. Spelljammer, 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 as announced at D&D Direct last week. Spelljammer Adventures in Space. It's available for pre-order right now. It's actually happening. The book is coming out in August. It's real cool. It's uh, sometimes I just lose words because I'm just like, go, the GIF and the you can be an ooze. Man, it's going to be a really really cool book. I think you all are going to be extremely happy to see it and check it out. I had my lighting set up a certain way because it was a cloudy day, and then all the clouds just immediately evaporated, and all my lighting changed, and that's okay. Um, if you want a little sneak peek, well, not even a sneak peek, if you want an early taste of the kind of stuff coming out in Spelljammer, available right now, free to all D&D Beyond users. Monstrous Compendium, Volume One, Spelljammer creatures. It is 10 new to 5e monsters. Of the Spelljammer flavor. They will not be available in the book. They're only available for free in this Monsters Compendium. It's five all new monsters and five classics from Spelljammer and a couple of other settings. Um, Come back to haunt you, in the words of Egg Chen from Big Trouble in Little China. It's They're pretty cool. In fact, today at noon, I am gathering some friends to just for funsies on stream right here, play through a really ridiculous encounter with some of the Monstrous Compendium beasts. I'm very excited. Todd Stashwick's joining us, Alicia Marie, Lisa Pearl, of course, Amy will be in there with us, and I think I'm forgetting people and I feel like a monster, but it's going to be a fun time. So come back at noon, check that out. It's going to be real, real goofy. I'm very excited to play with a couple of new toys. Also, right now, you can auction for a seat at a table at Jasper's Game Week. So, Jasper's Game Week is Jasper's Game Day's annual big fundraising drive. Jasper's Game Day is a charity that's very near and dear to our hearts. It's all about suicide prevention and mental health awareness. This is a big one for us. Uh, it matters. It's a big deal. I'll be on record to say again that I think D&D has so much positive impact on mental health and social health and stuff like that. And so I think it's a natural fit for Dungeons and Dragons to be able to lead the charge for something like Jasper's Game Week. That week starts May 9th. The auctions are live right now. Mods are frantically dropping that link into chat, and if you're watching on YouTube, um, yeah, there's a link below that. Yeah, you'll have enough time to. You'll have like a minute to still bid if you're watching on YouTube, because auctions actually do close tomorrow. You can bid on Brennan Lee Mulligan's table, Mark Hume, Satine Phoenix, Kaylee Bray. We have a ton of really cool DMs and a lot of really cool players at those tables that you can join. You can bid on my table. I'll be playing with an old friend, an old blast from the past, Mr. Adam Bradford, as well as dear friend Vanessa Guerrero. You can bid on Amy Downs' table. Amy's playing the pancake game. If you want to know what that means, we've got an article on the site. Participate in the auction, and then when the actual games start rolling out the week of the 9th, you can donate to affect those games, and we'll also be rolling out some really cool Jasper's Game Day digital dice. All proceeds go to Jasper. So participate, jump in. It's a great cause. I'll stop ranting about it. Coming up next, I want to make sure I'm giving you a weekly acquisition update. If you were not aware, um, uh, it was announced how long has it been? It's either been 3 years or like 2 weeks or 3 days. It's been a long one, so time has no more meaning. We are now we've been acquired by Wizards of the Coast. It has been really, really cool, and I want to do my best to keep you all updated weekly as to how that is going. And this is going to be the most frustrating of those updates, I think, because it's a manage expectations update. Because I know that there are a ton of things, a ton of really big things that people want like now, and we're like, where is it? Digital codes and books win, and a VTT win, and all that good stuff. Um, but I want to manage your expectations. This is my acquisition update for today. Do you remember at like first day of camp, where you show up to camp and you're like, "Who's my counselor and where's my bunk?" And they're like, "Oh, well, your counselor is one of the two Steves," and you got to go figure out which Steve, and then you finally find the right Steve. They take you to your bunk. You meet your bunk mates. Then you have your first meal, and the cook's like frantically trying to make sure that their allergen list is up to date, so that like they don't give one of the Corys peanuts, because one of the Corys is allergic to peanuts, one of the Corys is allergic to shellfish. And then after that move, everyone has to go to the meeting hall. You sing a couple of songs, you get stand in a big circle, you play that game. You remember that name game where you're like, "Hi, my name is Joe, and I like to jump," because you have to say something that starts with the first letter of your name, but then you also have to say everyone's that was like all across like the entire circle, so that you remember everybody's name, and then you sing a few more songs. That's kind of where we're at, except instead of a summer camp with 20 people, it's two very large businesses playing a name game. So that is my very honest with you acquisition update for the week. Right now, we're showing each other's toys. We're looking at each other's roadmaps. I'm getting very close to saying we're showing them ours and they're showing them theirs. But that's kind of where we're at right now. And I think you're going to start seeing a lot of our updates and a lot of our roadmap reflected in sort of this new world where we're freely, we're all a part of the same team now, all cards on the table. Uh, how does that affect what we were going to do? How does that affect what they were going to do? Uh, Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that is my acquisition update today. But on the positive side, hey, did you like that monstrous compendium? Um, there's more stuff like that coming, including Spelljammer Academy. That was also announced at D&D Direct. That is going to be a little Spelljammer preview adventure coming out this summer ahead of release. So make sure you are looking for that. If you got questions, even more sort of like deep dive questions and stuff like that we don't get a chance to get to here at the Dev Update, we've got a D&D Beyond Forum AMA coming up. Dave Heartless, King Dave Heartless, one of our three wise men. One of our, I don't know how many wise men we have. But he is definitely one of the main ones. I think he's a Frankincense and Myrrh guy. Sorry, I went to church camp and now I just have church things in my head. Dave's going to be doing that AMA. We are linking to it in chat, and if you're watching on YouTube, you know where the link is. It's down there somewhere. A few other updates coming. I want to sort of caveat these because, like I said, with the acquisition update, we've been working on these updates to the My Characters page. We've been working on all these updates to for accessibility changes, as well as the game listing updates, the search function, and stuff like that. And we're asking some key questions right now, which includes, hey, it's a brave new world. Um, Instead of kind of like fixes now on top of our traditional usual way of doing things with things like accessibility, what are some new ways we can approach this? What are ways that accessibility can start getting baked in to the compendium from the start? We're asking a lot of like, what if we did that, and then if this, then what else kind of questions right now with our new family. And it's internally, I will tell you, it's really cool. It's really interesting. It's a little nerve wracking sometimes, and it's challenging. But ultimately, it's like, oh, all this. Externally, I'm very aware. It's very frustrating for the dev update to just be like, there's cool stuff happening on the inside. Nothing really to talk about yet, but it's pretty cool for us. I understand that frustration. I really do. I hear you. But wanted to sort of like give that context to the stuff that's on our roadmap, because we have an opportunity right now to to rethink approach period on a lot of different stuff, including things like accessibility, which are super super important to us. So those things aren't going away, but they are. We're committed to them. We are rethinking approach right now on all of this stuff, on everything a little bit. And then finally, the generic feature system still in process. We've promised you monthly updates there. The team, I believe, just completed a sprint. So Pat and Company will be back on next week to talk through the generic feature system. Um, that does it for me. I'm going to stop rambling, and I'm going to get David on here so that we can talk through mobile app updates. David, welcome back to the Dev Update. It's been a minute, sir.
Hello. Yeah, I
How?
think that I was here a couple of 2 or 3 months ago. Last time, I think.
Yeah, no, it has been a minute. I'm glad to see you. Uh, we were talking about having you on a little while back because there's been a lot of stuff happening with the mobile app, and then obviously a few small things happened. We were purchased, some small things like that, which those pesky little stuff like that got in the way. But now I want to make sure the floor is yours. And as we dig into this, I want to remind everybody. Get your app questions in there, your app wish list, all that good stuff, and we will start trying to get into some of that. But for now, David, walk me through what's new in the app.
Oh, so today we started releasing version 2.10. That actually this release introduces a number of changes that mostly small fixes to the bugs that have been pestering users for a while. We
Mhm.
also added the ability to manage HB for creatures on iOS. This was still missing because the previous version that we released in 2.9 introduced creatures. At last, extras were there. And we focused on creatures because we listened to many voices from many users that actually focused on extras. Vehicles needed to be parked for a moment, but it's not that they're not gonna be there. It's just not yet. So this is what has happened recently in the past couple of weeks. And what is happening right now is, I couldn't find a better metaphor for what is happening with us getting to know each other with wizards. So, the thing is that, we are doing this, but we are still working. And what is happening is that, in the last, 3 and 4 updates ago, when we released a number of, I called it a mobile cauldron of small quality of life improvements. We released
David's
it,
cauldron of everything.
and act, yeah, something like that. But the reaction was phenomenal, actually, because I didn't expect that these small changes would be so significant for our users. So what we want to do now is, taking this breath for a moment when getting to know each other with wizards, we are going to be focusing on such things, and we are also going to be addressing the functional debt that we still have when compared with the web. And for instance, we're going to be adding more on-tap descriptions for class features, for actions that are still outstanding in the app. But we are also going to be adding some smaller under the hood changes that are going to improve the download progress because we have some issues with certain books on iOS, so we want to address that. And we are also integrating with a generic feature system that you mentioned a while ago, which means that thanks to that we're going to be able to release early, often, and more frequently, and we're going to be paying more functional and rules debt alongside with the web. So this is what is happening, and of course, beyond that, most of all, we're going to be releasing new books in the app on day one, and I hope that this is what's gonna be happening because this is our top priority.
Well, speaking of beyond that, Razdow asks, "Can we expect something?" I think he's trying to sneak information out of you, but Razdow asks, "Can we expect something big for a 3.0 update?"
Well, yes,
I love
but we
just
don't know
pushing the
when
limits
3.0
of
is going
things you
to
guys
happen.
are comfortable talking about.
No, 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 no. This is a very good question. This is a very good question. I think that we're gonna get to 3.0 when we have something big to release. But one of the things that I had a conversation with the team was when we talked about versioning of the app, and we talked about how we would be updating the versions. And one of the things was, okay, we're gonna get to 2.9, and then what? Because my initial thought was, okay, 3.0, but the response was there's gonna be 2.10. So this is this is exactly what's going to happen. 3.0 is going to happen. It's going to happen when we have something big, when we do something very phenomenal. So yes, you can expect 3.0 to be something big, but when 3.0 is going to happen, time will tell.
Well, I'm going to call this section of questions. Will you talk about this thing maybe happening, and what are the kind of challenges that you sort of foresee around it? Because mostly we've got features questions, but beyond sort of like that'd be cool. I'd kind of love to hear your thoughts on like are there challenges around some of these things, like interesting kind of like obstacles you all sort of have to figure out, mainly just for my education as well as them, but mostly the show is about me and me learning things. Manofero 78 asks, is there a plan to add portrait frames like our subscriber perks and stuff like that to the app?
Yes, yes, we have it on the roadmap, but this is something that we deliberately parked for a moment for the
Mhm.
next couple of months because we want to focus on the items that are going to introduce certain improvements that are going to be uh, less related to the things that can be, for instance, related to the business itself. And that's why we are going to park it for a moment, but still, well, portraits and avatars is something that is certainly on the roadmap, and this is something that we are going to reconsider potentially within a few months. But this isn't something I want to make decisions about right
I think that's completely fair. In that spirit, Um, and the thing that's interesting to me about the mobile app is I'm consistently like, I don't even know how you would do that in a mobile app, and then you guys consistently do it, which is always so impressive to me. And I apologize, everyone, I have not been adding the questions as I ask them. Hey Hunter, 1993 asks, any plans on bringing encounters to the mobile app? And are there any kind of challenges and things that sort of have to get figured out along the path for that?
now. Yes, yes, we are actually experimenting with that as well. We wanted to take a slightly different approach to this because we want these to be more, let's say, I would say mobile, meaning that they're going to be a bit sleeker in terms that it would be just easier to configure an encounter because we believe that, well, mobile is going to find, well, it's going to serve its purpose to do things quickly,
Mhm.
because on the spot in a way. So this is the approach that we are considering and we are experimenting with. And at some point, certainly, this is going to happen. It's going to be focused on combat tracker more than encounter builder itself. But it's certainly something that is going to accompany our campaign view that we already have in the app. And I think that this is going to be a very good addition to this campaign view and this DM screen that we already serve in the app.
Well, speaking of the DM screen, Rakio 407 and a few other people asked, will there be a DM screen for the mobile app? We you have released one. It's pretty slick. I
Mhm.
actually use it as a second screen when I DM. This is my impression of me holding a mobile phone. I do it very normally like a human does it. So since the DM screen is there, you're sort of talking about the process of the combat tracker and stuff like that. Let me ask you this: Are is there anything on the DM screen like wish list that you want to be able to add to the app?
Well,
Just put you on the spot here.
we have a portal. Uh-huh. Well, yeah, we have a portal in which it is possible to just send any suggestions for these. So it is available on the forum. You can find it there. So we keep collecting things that can be added. One of the things that is on the list is are class features. So, for instance, you have a list
Mm,
of your characters that are participating in the campaign. You can then open this particular character and you can see its class features, for instance. So, this is something that we would be considering, but there are also other items that I gathered as feedback, for instance, related to hiding certain characters. For instance, NPCs shouldn't be available for certain players. Inspiration should be shown as well in the campaign view. So these are the items that are being considered right now with the current implementation of the campaign view, and we call it a DM screen because. Of course, this isn't a DM screen as we think of it as something that we have already in print,
mhm.
released in print, but it's a DM's shortcut to accessing certain information about their players.
Right on. I think all of that is super cool, and I can't think of a better spot to sort of end on than remind that you all are actively looking at feedback, logging feedback, and sort of building your roadmap based on it, as are all of our teams. So, like David said, you can do that on our forums. If you're watching on YouTube, you can do that in our comment. If 5,000 people ask for inspiration on a DM screen, if 10,000 people ask for inspiration on a DM screen, those things are probably going to get moved up, and looked at and taken really seriously. So we're always looking at y'all's feedback. It's constantly evolving and informing what we do. Uh, David, thanks so much for coming on and hanging out. Did you have any sort of last thoughts on the app,
Um, not
or just nice things to say to
really,
me?
not really. Yeah. So, well, Joe, I still can't think of a better metaphor for what is happening right now in the business. It was a very sleek and short metaphor. I loved it. I really loved it.
It definitely feels like that. Well, hey, I will see you at Arts and Crafts, and I'm so glad we're at camp together, my friend. Take care of yourself. Stay safe out there. Um, Thinking about you all a lot, and to you all, thanks for hanging out with us. We will see you here next week for the dev update. We'll be back live on D&D Beyond to throw some people at some Spelljammer monsters at noon Pacific time today. Other than that, be nice to each other, be kind, take care of each other, watch out for each other. Super weird out there, and we'll see you next time on the D&D Beyond dev update. Thanks, everybody.